WrestleZone.com. Chair shot reality coming to you from the Point Park University Studios in Pittsburgh, PA. Watch us on WrestleZone. Watch it on YouTube. Watch it now on iTunes. There's plenty of reasons, plenty of ways for you to watch. No excuse. Eisenberg, Labar, talking about two topics. One is the absence of somebody, and one is the debut of somebody. Let's start with the absence, which is the breaking news that happened on Thursday. That is Sheamus posting a picture with him with his hand in a cast. Yeah. At the time they were saying this right now, we don't know anything else. We don't know an injury time. We don't know how, why. So going with what we know right now, Josh, how big of a deal is this?
The Celtic Warrior being injured is not a big deal because he's not world champion right now. And right now you look at WWE's roster heading into WrestleMania 32. What do they do with the League of Nations? We're not sure if Rusev and Del Rio are going to be chasing championships. Barrett hasn't wrestled in God knows how long due to his health concerns. And now Sheamus with a broken arm. The only silver lining for Sheamus in a broken arm, it's not like you're getting surgery on a torn muscle on your leg. You're not out 6 to 9 months. Hopefully in 4 to 6 weeks he's back in action. But I do think Sheamus injured doesn't necessarily hurt the League of Nations overall because it gives opportunities now, Justin, for guys like Rusev and Del Rio to recreate the character that I feel like they've lost ever since they joined the League of Nations.
See, I don't buy that explanation simply because there should be opportunity right now for Rusev and Del Rio and Barrett if he was, I guess he's not healthy because he hasn't touched a person since the 6th grade picnic.
Why would you touch somebody at a picnic? It's a 6th grade too. I've never heard of that before.
Remember,
that's not
you
something
ever heard
people
that phrase?
say. That's not something people say.
He's struck out since the 6th grade.
Not something people say. Go ahead.
Let me restart this. I think I'm not buying your explanation because there already should be opportunity for these guys in League of Nations, and it's completely fallen flat. Since Sheamus dropped the title to Roman Reigns in December, there's just been nothing. Whether it's been the inconsistency of Rusev and Lana, Lana's there, Lana's not there, Lana's getting made fun of by The Rock. Del Rio, he drops the title, wins the title, drops the title again, the U.S. title that is. Barrett not touching anybody at all. So I don't know. I think this is important though, even though Sheamus isn't in like a critical spot so much. It is important in the sense of just because it's one more injury, it's one less body of a credible established person.
Well, and here's what I think they could do with Sheamus if you want to have him healthy for WrestleMania. Just keep him out for a few weeks. And then you look at the card of WrestleMania shaping up. And I know we're big picture guys who want to see what's going to happen in Dallas because Fastlane is pretty much a placeholder for the big event at WrestleMania. Sheamus is a guy in a perfect situation. He's not going to be in a World Championship match. He's not going to be in some sort of grudge match like he was against Triple H at WrestleMania 26 where he's up and coming and needs to find this legend. He's a perfect fit for somebody to be in some sort of a multi-man United States Championship match, whether it's a ladder match, whether it's something of a gauntlet type match. Something that WWE needs to realize is Sheamus is world champion material, but not during January through May. He's a June, July, August guy that can keep that title around that time.
Well, everybody's interested right now to see what happens in June, July, and August is AJ Styles. Made his debut at the Royal Rumble. I'll first off start and say, yes, I kept saying I wanted a hype video Rumble, but I would rather have him debut at Raw. That's not what happened, but I'll say WWE did as great of a job as they could in having him appear at Rumble. They had him come in early. He got a good enough showing. It wasn't like he was out within 2 minutes. He got a good showing, but he was eliminated early enough to where he wasn't a distraction for the audience to hijack through the remainder of the match. Obviously, great pop. Good to see him. He looks great for 38 years old. Great shape. What do we do next, Josh? I mean, is this we saw a nice opening match on Raw with him and it wasn't the best match between him.
But it was really good for two guys who've not really had much time to work together.
For a 46-year-old and 38-year-old that never worked together, you're right. Exactly. And he gets the win, and that's the thing because you always had that little worry of like, okay, you got a guy that's not made by WWE and Vince. How's it going to start off? And so far, getting a win right off the bat against Chris Jericho, that's a good start.
And here's the thing with AJ Styles is, a lot of his really good work, he wasn't a face. He wasn't this happy-go-lucky, cheerful guy. A lot of his really good work late in TNA and New Japan was he was mysterious. You don't know too much about him. You knew who AJ Styles was, but he didn't need to say too much. I actually think he needs to say a lot in WWE. He needs to establish his own persona, his own character. He can still do the phenomenal one. He can still come out with the hat over top, the leather jacket, really looking like a badass rogue type character. But you got to have AJ Styles make sure that people that don't know him in WWE know who his character is outside of the ring. That's critical, Justin. It's critical for any guy appearing in WWE's main roster, whether they're from NXT, TNA, New Japan. It doesn't matter. You have to develop and establish your character from day one.
Well, it was a good start for AJ Styles. I'm looking forward to see.
Where does he fall out in the Mania card?
Well, that's what I was going to go to next. Again, AJ Styles. I'm not changing my stance on this. I don't, even with the great pop that he got, the first week. I'm not looking for him to be in the world title picture anytime soon. And quite frankly, you don't know how long he's with WWE, but maybe never he really gets in the world title picture. That's very possible. His best value on the Raw and SmackDown picture could simply just be AJ Styles and having matches with Jericho, with Owens, if Daniel Bryan's ever healthy, and basically letting his matches not be about so much the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, but just for those bragging rights of who's the best in the world at the moment, because he's just such a pure in-ring athlete. So I think you can look at him. If Daniel Bryan was healthy and if he was cleared, I think Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles is perfect. Because again, you're not going to put the investment of titles in Bryan anymore. I've gone down that spiel before. So him versus Styles is a great use of their talents and marquee. But if Bryan's not healthy, I think you can go multiple other routes. Pretty much anybody that has a good work rate, you put him up against Styles. It's a fresh matchup likely because Styles, there's a lot of guys on the roster, WWE roster, that he hasn't got to work with. So it's a fresh matchup any which way.
Well, it's a fresh matchup any which way, but when you look at AJ Styles, he can't be overshadowed by people that have already been there, have already done that. He needs a veteran. He needs a guy that WWE wants to pair him up against, like a Jericho. He's been there, done that, but Jericho's not overshadowing anybody upon his return. If you put him up against a guy like Daniel Bryan, it's going to be a great match. The internet fans will love it, but is Daniel Bryan's return overshadowing the debut of AJ Styles?
By the way, and I touched on this on my Friday Pittsburgh trip in my 6-pack of questions, stop. I know it's your right. Stop with this is awesome chance over everything. I understand it's a fresh matchup, but when they start a collar and elbow tie-up, when nobody's broken
it was
a
cool
sweat,
to see AJ Styles in the ring.
Okay,
God,
but when you
get
start,
over yourself.
Okay, well, wait until one of them wait until one of them at least takes a bump on the mat, and then go, "This is awesome." When you do a collar and elbow tie-up and then they do the "This is awesome" chant, it totally makes the "This is awesome" chant irrelevant. So
you're just
stop.
not awesome. That's what you're mad
So
about.
stop.
You're
I
not
am very
awesome.
awesome.
You're not
I am
awesome.
very
You're
awesome.
not. How? How are you awesome? You canceled your show last week due to inclement weather, like there was a storm.
There was a state of emergency.
Get the hell out of
Billy
here.
Gunn couldn't fly in.
Man, that's your fault.
Billy Gunn with
that's your fault. Take a limo.
Because-
Let's go, money bags. Take a limo. Go pick up
From
Billy.
Orlando
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Pittsburgh?
Why not? It's on your dime, right?
What?
Yeah, see?
Always looking for a
You're
shot.
not awesome. You're not awesome.
You can't. Well, you can spell Justin.
Where's
without awesome.
Brian at? I can't believe I'm going to say I miss him.
We got more to talk later.
He don't